Good evening. Tonight I wanted to share some thoughts on the ideas of more and less, specifically because as a society, I think we have an unhealthy obsession with more. Everywhere you turn, we're being bombarded with images and offers for the king-size value meal, for the 3-for-1 bonus pack, for the 70% off limited time offer. And it's driving us to new and higher levels of consumption where we've lost any appreciation for moderation and any connection to the true need that should be underlying our consumption. It's a growing problem, but I should also confess that I myself am part of the problem. You see, I've been in the marketing industry for 20 years. I've certainly designed my own share of starbursts over the years, and I've made a tidy living at pulling the levers that get people to buy things that they might not otherwise. But at the same time, I've also been a victim of those techniques. And it was in the process of kind of working through my own rampant consumption a few years ago that I began to realize that sometimes less is actually a much better way to go. But it requires a shift in your thinking. So I didn't actually need more storage. What I needed was less stuff. I didn't need more credit. I needed to have less debt. And I didn't need more hours in the day, even though I was fond of telling people that. What I actually needed was less busy work, so that I could spend the time that I had more focused on things that would actually enrich my life and make it better. Now, it isn't always easy to make that shift, because as a society, we have this preoccupation with more, and particularly, I think, in how we approach what I call the discrepancy. And the discrepancy is really about the difference between the pool of stuff that we have and the pool of stuff that we want. And it's easy, particularly in a Western society, to take the viewpoint that we address that discrepancy by reshaping what we have, to go after what we want. But the problem is that it's a moving target. As soon as we fulfill one set of wants, all of a sudden we realize that the goalposts have moved. There's new things that we want, and it's a never-ending cycle. Whereas an Eastern approach is to go the other way and try to rein in our wants so that we're actually content with what we have. You might want to think about the old expression that happiness is not about having what you want, it's about wanting what you have. And to the extent that we can embrace that approach, it starts to bring us closer to a movement that's growing in popularity called post-consumerism, which posits that each of us should be valued not for the sum of possessions and consumption habits that we have, but instead on what are the things that we actually do to make our society better. And furthermore, that the benchmark we should be using in making our consumption habits is really about what do I need to get through today, not some hypothetical far-out future. Now, I wanted to end my presentation with some concrete steps that each of us can take to start to work towards these ideals and to make our lives better. So the first one being, we all have an endless litany of gadgets and gizmos in our closets, taking up space, weighing us down, things that we truly don't need. I would encourage all of us to go through, find the things that we don't need, and get rid of them. Nobody needs a pet petter. Okay? When you find that there is something that you do actually genuinely need, spend the money to get something that's of quality, something that has durability that will last you a long time. And because you bought something that's quality, odds are you're actually going to have a better experience along the way as well, in addition to saving money in the long run. Now, the other thing is when it comes to gift-giving seasons, so things like Christmas, birthdays, and so on, again, rather than exchanging a bunch of material things that you don't need, consider with your loved ones exchanging charitable donations so you can actually not only free their lives of clutter, but improve life for someone else out there. And finally, as much as possible, reduce your consumption of packaging. If you can buy produce directly from a farmer's market and get it directly from the farmer as opposed to something prepackaged at a grocery store, so much the better. My parting thought is something that's something of a personal motto for me in my post-consumerism recovery. If you don't need it, it isn't a bargain at any price. Don't get lured in by the 70% off limited time offer. If it's not something that you need today, don't buy it. Without it, you'll be better off and happier. Thank you.